I was going to start with a laugh because you were just giggling. John was giggling like a little girl.
I know people find that strange because I seldom laugh at my own jokes.
I've never heard you laugh, period. What do you have in your hand? That's kind of scary.
This is, do you know when you go to like a gas station or whatever and you decide, I want to grab something because I'm thirsty, or just because
I don't go to gas stations. I drive a Tesla.
Oh, you do not.
I know. I've always wanted to say that, though. Someday I'll be able to. Joe Rogan says that.
I don't go to gas stations. No, you just waste a lot of time at electric charging stations. Yeah. So that's fine. Because guess what? The charging stations don't have dick for protein drinks. But one of my favorites, when I went to the gas station today, is this Bai, B-A-I?
Is it Bai or Bay, or how do you pronounce it? Does anyone know? I want to know how to pronounce it because I see it on the shelves all the time and I never know.
I've pronounced it Bay for years, but I know you like to go into bars and tell people you're bisexual, so I don't know. But I really like this, and especially in the antioxidant cocoa fusion.
Okay, I could go so many places with the antioxidant cocoa fusion.
I think you should. I think there are many places you would like to go with that.
And John is holding that up to his camera right now so I can read that. But why did that came out of left field? Because we were talking about our weekend plans, and all of a sudden you hold up your bay.
So at Bai, I think.
Sure you are.
Sorry, already made the joke. Did you do it?
Yeah, but I said it, and it was much funnier.
It was not.
I can make it much. I can make much funnier in post. I can delete your first joke, and then
he can fix anything in post editing.
I have the power. That was the one thing that was always. We always had T-shirts because I think I've explained to you. When I first started college, I was a film major.
Yes. And
we always talked about the best shirts that people have made. One of them, the most obvious one, is when you're especially in college, but even a professional filmmaker, it says it's a black shirt with white lettering. It says ... But what I really want to do is direct. Because that's what a lot of filmmakers want to do. You know, they don't want to be producers. They don't want to be editors. They really want to direct. So ... What I really want to do is direct.
Okay. Like it.
And so, yeah, where was I going with that? What were we just talking about?
Wow. And there it is. Welcome to PoddiMouths, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I totally forgot. Where was I? Because it was another T-shirt. And that would be great if we could add that T-shirt and another T-shirt that I was thinking of and I can't remember to the merch store. I hope people don't forget about the merch store like I forget about the merchandise.
Where is the merch store?
It's on our website, PoddiMouths.com.
I thought so.
PoddiMouths.com.
Chances are pretty good that actually many of our listeners start out there. And
I would hope so.
A lot of listeners do because it's a great spot to go truly for the merch, which I think is funny. I still get lots of stares to my PoddiMouths mask when I wear that. People try to figure out what it says, and I get a lot of that. So anyway, but we don't want to make this a show about just going to our merch store.
Yeah, we do.
So if you don't want us to do that, buy some stuff at our merch store.
Yes. Yeah. I'm thinking of changing I'm thinking of changing the button from merch store to buy some shit.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that my mother won't buy anything then because, she's
mom would. If she went dead.
Wow. That's you always pull out the mom card.
I have to. Yeah. Wow. I'm doing that for her. I think I've explained this. I'm sure I've said this before. She would laugh at that. She would probably make the joke before I would. I think I'm fairly quick when it comes to responding to certain things. Yes. She beats me by half. I mean, she was so quick.
Wow.
Anyway. Yes.
Well, that's obviously where you get your sense of humor.
Yes, my poor sense of humor or poor taste.
Your
Absolutely.
wonderful sense of humor. I think your mother would be delighted in
As he
what you have
says, as he rolls
chosen.
his eyes, you forget that I can see the video right in
I,
front of me.
I did. I had something in my contact.
Oh, that was what. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, right. That's what it was.
exactly. So,
Yes.
well, I was going to say, since we're talking about eye rolling and contacts, you probably don't get that joke, and neither does any of our listeners, except for the one I'm talking about, Mr. Craig Church, former PoddiMouths co-host, guest. He was on our podcast. I don't know when, but my father-in-law. So I
We
was
need
thinking
to
the other
have
day.
him back because I
We
love
really
Craig.
do.
Craig
Well,
is-
it's hunting season right now, so we can't do it,
Oh,
and that's
he's
where I
out.
was getting. So and we're getting to our weekend, and this hopefully will drive us in that direction. I hadn't received a text. I usually get funny photos. We talked about that on the podcast when he joined us. I usually get funny photos from Craig every once in a while, or photos of things he's created, his artwork. And I'm like, I haven't gotten anything from Craig in a while. I hope he's okay. And it wasn't an hour later, I get a text from Craig sleeping in his deer stand.
Wait a second. How did he get that? He took it. Do you think it was like a selfie while he was sleeping?
It was definitely the squirrels. It was definitely the squirrels.
Squirrels took a picture.
But that wasn't even the funniest one. So I made a snarky comment back, and then he sends another one the following morning, really early, and it was a picture of him holding binoculars to his eyes, looking out, and it said, "Let Peyton know that I'm watching." So Peyton has some reindeer antlers, like a headband that from Christmas, but they're still sitting downstairs in her box. So we pulled those out and put it on her head, and then we grabbed one of the house plants, and she hid her face behind the house plant, and we took a picture and sent it to him, and he said, "Are you sure?" So it began this banter back and forth of the strangest pictures.
Really funny.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny, but so that was this weekend. This happened over the weekend, and you and I both had something to celebrate over the weekend. We talked about it last week on the episode about our anniversaries. So, John, how did your anniversary weekend go? You were sending me texts. You shouldn't have been sending me texts during your anniversary, but you were.
Well, I wanted Lisa to think I had another girlfriend, so it would,
yeah.
Because after 33 years, there are women just knocking the door down.
Absolutely.
She is so lucky. I get a lot of that.
I'm sure you do.
I never
I'm confident in your ability, John.
Yeah, right.
I wish people could see the sarcasm on my face.
Me too.
I thought I had a sarcasm once.
We need to do a sarc, like a notification, since people can't see us. So, John, I think you're really something special. I bet that happens a lot. Sarc. And then we move on to the next comment.
Nice. I like it.
So I know I probably sent you a couple things, but we really did have a very nice time, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. So if you're not familiar with Wisconsin, I had originally looked at Door County for a nice getaway weekend because dang, it's driving distance these days. It's not like it's relaxing to get on a plane and go someplace fun. So I looked at Door County, and the hotels were, to me, ridiculously expensive. More to the point, I could not get any Marriott points because they have no Marriott properties that had any rooms available outside of Green Bay. I said, no, thanks. So I checked the other side of the state, La Crosse, which is a university town, and it's on the Mississippi River. And I thought, you know what? It might be kind of fun. And so they have a Marriott there. I'm a points whore. So I said, well, let's try that one. They had rooms available. Yes. And they had suite upgrades available.
Nice.
Well, their suite wasn't exactly a suite, but it was nice, and it was overlooking the river. So that was great. I then did some Google searches for restaurants in the area because that's always the special thing you want to do when you're out in a town for your anniversary special occasion. I found a French restaurant. Lisa took 5 or 6 or 7 years of French. And so while she doesn't speak fluently today, she could pick it back up quickly. I'm quite confident of that. Anyway, I thought the French restaurant would be fun, and it was more than fun. We had the best time and they had a little stone-walled cave. They called it La Cave which means the cave. I know you find that hard to believe. I know. Downstairs, so that was the bar. Lisa had a smoked old fashioned.
So, okay, I'm sorry.
I have to. Cool.
Interject. So, I went to Louisville this week, and there are Marriott thing again too. I have two favorite hotels in Louisville, and we can go into that later. But I stayed at my second favorite one, who also has my number one favorite drink at their bar. So I was really excited because we haven't been out in the field very much. So I was excited to be able to go back to this hotel, and it was unfortunately closed. The bar was. So I didn't get to have my smoked Manhattan.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you've had a Manhattan or an old fashioned, they're quite similar.
Very similar. It's pretty much just the sugar is the difference.
Well, there's more sugar. That's true, depending upon how it's made and so on. But yeah, it's the muddling and it's the sugar and it's the blah. Because I want you to tell me if they do it similarly. This guy put a plank on the bar and a couple of wood chips and torched them, and then took Lisa's glass and inverted it over top of the wood. And I had never seen it before. And I'll tell you what, then he mixed the drink and poured it in. She said, and I tasted it too, it was amazing.
Yes.
It was very smoky and delicious.
Yes,
is that how yours
is made? Very, very similar. Yep.
Cool. Yep. It was quite a production. I had a martini, so there were multiple productions going on. He was making my dry martini. And,
now you're making me want a martini.
Well, and let me explain the fun part about martinis is that younger bartenders, and this guy was one, very competent, very nice guy. But when you say make it very dry, they tend to take dry vermouth and add more dry vermouth, thinking that means very dry. It does not.
No, where
preponderance of dry vermouth does not make it dry.
Where did they even? Did they not go to training? Did they? What?
This has happened to me before. I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at a very nice restaurant, awesome steaks, and I said I would like a Grey Goose martini straight up, blue cheese olives, very dry. And I watched the lady make it, and she's dumping dry vermouth. And I said, oh, no. That's not how you make a dry martini. She said, well, you said very dry. I said, when I say very dry, you take the bottle of dry vermouth, you show it to the glass, and then set it down. That is a dry martini.
Yep.
So anyway, it was fun. The guy, he put in a little extra. I didn't mind. It was very nice. They had a wine cellar adjacent to this place. And then I'll get to the end of this. And then we proceeded to go upstairs to our table. I made reservations. And we were in a music room, the only two people in this room, with a baby grand piano that looked remarkably like my 100-year-old baby grand I have upstairs. And our waitress was the owner.
Nice.
And
I love stuff like that.
Awesome. She was so good. As you might expect, her husband is the head chef. And It's just how quaint, how cool. We just had a blast at that place.
That's very cool.
It is, and they're not sponsors. Le Chateau in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Very nice place. Highly recommend if you're in the neighborhood.
So Le Chateau is, in English, is the chateau.
Yes, it is. You have been studying. Wow. Nice job there, Babel.
Thanks. There's I love the movie. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Out Cold. It has Zach Galifianakis. I don't know if there are any other famous names in it, but it's got a lot of really funny people in it. It's a skiing movie, and it's they're in Alaska,
Yes.
And one of the characters starts to hit on, what is her name? She was a Playboy bunny.
Oh gosh,
Playboy.
How would I know anything about that?
I know. I can't remember her name. But anyway, so she was in the movie, younger. I mean, this well, not younger anymore. I guess the movie was in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Anyway, so he was hitting on her, and the bar that they go to is called El Matador. So he said something similar to that, welcome to the El Matador, which is Spanish for the Matador. It just always stuck with me. I love it.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So,
and another line in there was, carpe the diem, seize the carp.
Diem. Oh, nice. Wow. I'm trying to see who. The only thing I can imagine. Oh, AJ Cook. Andrea.
Yeah, AJ Cook's in it. Yep, she's not the Playboy bunny.
Okay, so it then would have to be Caroline. Really?
No,
Caroline,
that's not her. Nope, that's a
Davos?
French. She's a French woman.
Oh, Victoria Silvstedt. Yes, that's who it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Inga.
Yeah,
Inga gave me the finger.
The $5 million man is in there.
Lee Majors.
$6
million man.
Whatever. I remember him as the fall guy. So you know what? Bite me.
You're a drinker, aren't you?
When on my good days.
I'd like some CBD rimmed around my martini.
Amen, brother. That's what I'm looking for next. I wonder if they already have that CBD infused vodka.
And then would you rim it with like pot?
I don't know.
It's
Not
rimmed
yet.
with
That's the garnish. The garnish is
the garnish. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I haven't been to your bar.
Garnish
I have no
your
idea what to
martinis.
expect.
The Pug and Schnauzer?
It's the Pug and Schnauzer. No, I have not been there. There's always a waiting.
You should go.
Line.
It is a long waiting list, but you know the owner, so maybe you'll get in a week or two.
I do know her. Yes, she is the owner. Don't kid yourself.
Did you hear me argue?
Nope, I didn't. You just smiled and said he has me pegged. Speaking of our anniversary weekends, Nick's anniversary, I should say Jennifer's anniversary,
right,
of being married to Nick was last weekend. One
of the gifts I got her was a T-shirt, and it said "Epic Wife" since 2008.
Oh, how nice!
Yeah.
And what did yours say?
Stop buying me T-shirts. Come yet. Yeah.
Your T-shirt said hasn't come yet?
Yeah, no, my
That's so inappropriate.
It is very inappropriate.
Jennifer, yes.
It has not arrived yet. So I don't know what it says, but I do get the idea because her T-shirt, the one I got for her, came late as well. So I assumed by her reaction, because she said, I almost got you a similar T-shirt. I'm assuming that it is a shirt. So I don't know.
Yours probably had more sparklies on it.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Money on the bed.
I know what you like. Oh, speaking of which, yes. So we're at this hotel in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Also a French name, by the way. I think it means the cross.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He got so upset by it, he hit his microphone away from his face.
I did. I was upset.
He whacked it.
The restaurant or the hotel had. We were there 2 nights, and there's no room service. There's no maid service. There's no anything. So I'm saving like $5 a night.
Nice.
Because I don't like. Well, I mean, they only clean the room once. I'm not going to pay them, what I would pay them for 5 nights or 5 days of cleaning.
Right.
Not that there's, they're suffering through this as well, but. It's again not like they're there, so I see them and all of that. So anyway, yeah, I only put $5 on. I was going to take a picture of it when we left and checked out, but I guess if I were a nice man, I would I would have left $5 a day and just left her a lot of money.
Yeah, but you're not a nice man. We all know that.
You've never tipped before you met me, Mr.
I still
Spanky
don't.
Wow. Well, the unfortunate part is I have to tip at home now ever since we started.
Yeah, every time she makes the bed.
Yeah. Hey, honey, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this boils down to, and maybe I should get better at it. Maybe I shouldn't. I never carry cash. Never carry cash.
Yeah, I do. But unfortunately, I typically, if I do, I get larger bills because I don't like all the little minutia of smaller bills. I don't even, somebody gives me change. And look, we can have the total full on conversation about the cashless society and how some people think it's a scam. And look, that's fine. That may be accurate. I don't know. I just don't like carrying change. It's not I remember the old days. My buddy had one of those change purses. Remember those?
Yeah. And
it was weird though. My dad used to carry one, so I'm not throwing stones, but it's a change purse. I would throw it in something is that Ronald McDonald House? Yeah, I'll throw it in there. That's fine. But I'm like you. I don't carry much for cash that is, spendable cash. I should load up on $5 bills because that's typically if I park with a valet, or if I, leave the room tip for the maid, it's usually $5.
Right. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But again, I never do. And when I do, it's gone so quickly that it just, I don't know. I have a tough time with that. I wish there was another way. And maybe that's how we make our millions is automated tipping. So you can tip anybody or, and then you sell it to hotels and anyone just using their phone, using Apple Pay or something like that can tip.
It's a QR code.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So the maid leaves her personal QR.
So if anyone listening,
we can do this.
If anyone is listening,
yes.
If anyone is listening at this point in the podcast, if anyone is listening and you steal that idea,
what he's trying to say is, Mom, if you, Mom Quaddy, Mom Hopkins, if you try to steal that idea, if you want to steal that idea, you
just make sure that you give us enough money to support the podcast. That's all. Buy us a cup of coffee or $1 million.
Yeah. How the hell much do you think that's going to cost? We've done it for free for a long time now.
Right. Well, it should cost a lot because I want to be supported. I got to support my CBD habit.
That is turning into a habit, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess.
I've never seen it where they sell the bowls to burn it in. I thought that was some sort of an essential oil.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because I think they were waiting on your testimonial.
They could have been. Yep.
Yeah.
That must be it. So anyway, I am a true believer in CBD now.
That's awesome. Hey, you know what? It really does come down to
THC-free CBD.
It is THC-free CBD, but I don't think they sell, or legally at least, CBD with THC in it. So,
and not legally in states that don't allow it.
While that's available in some states, it is not the nationwide mandate.
Correct.
Yep.
As much as I understand it. So.
Well, and it's interesting because the CBD oil comes from the seeds, and it's a different plant. It's a hemp plant.
It's a hemp plant.
And this is my limited understanding. I did some research some time ago, but it's not a THC producing marijuana plant.
Right.
They are sister plants. Or brother plants.
And you can get CBD from a marijuana plant.
One of the two.
Yeah. But that one is usually laced with THC, obviously.
Yes.
Obviously. But other than that, I don't know much more about it. So,
but we're happy that you are less anxious and that you have become more
like being less anxious. Anxious. I can't talk either. I lose my ability to talk clearly.
I think that's good. It makes you more entertaining.
How could I be any more entertaining?
I know. I have a hard time quantifying that.
Anyway, speaking of CBD and entertaining,
Yes.
John, do we have a potty corner this week?
I am so happy you asked, Nick. We should have we need some soundtrack music for
I know.
this.
I told you I'll get to it in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
It's almost like you have a job.
Right. Right.
I know. Yeah, I think so. Maybe if we just did something like to my friend Jenna, go! If we did that and that was the potty corner sort of entrance.
That would work. Absolutely.
Okay, so it wasn't Jenna who gave us the suggestion this week, but it was one of my many friends, Mike, and he said trick or treat or trick or drink, which
do you see
I
how
found
this
to be
flows in with what we were just talking
very,
about?
very timely. Yes. Well, not only just to the time of the year, but to the podcast, because Nick was planning on this all along. And he asked what the topic was, but he knew darn well what it was because we already talked about it.
We did, yes. And
He's
so
quite an actor.
I wanted John to tee it up and say just what he did, trick or treat or drink, drink or treat. And I was just going to respond with, why do they have to be mutually exclusive?
And if you've ever had those, I don't know, you get the box of candy. You know what I'm talking about. You open it up and some are liqueur filled. And so you have one that has cream de menthe and one that has cream de coke and one that, whatever. And you bite into it and it dribbles down. That's delicious. It's the candy and the liquor together.
There you go. See, you're thinking ahead. I usually just have one in one hand and the other in the other.
and a bottle of bourbon in the other.
Yeah. Right. Well, no, that's in the bag.
Oh, that's you.
See, my candy bag, it comes from the liquor store.
Oh, can I just say, please stop using the term "my candy bag"? Would you please? Stop saying that?
Yes. So, well, let's talk about it too. Because
hey, honey, guess what's in my candy bag? I'm sorry. It just strikes me as Nick funny. All right.
We came off of our anniversary weekend and John he's off the reservation. I'm trying to keep this a very family friendly podcast. And you're just shitting all over it.
I'm having an excellent effect on you. Obviously. Yes. That's when it goes downhill. When Nick starts letting his hair down. His
back hair.
His back hair, yes. Okay, so talk about it. Seriously, we used to do trick or drink in college.
Okay,
and it was so in the dorms we'd have a big sign, trick or drink, and people would come with liquor or whatever and pour a shot, and we'd pour a shot, and
it gives new meaning to candy's dandy, but liquor's quicker.
Yeah, candy's dandy, but sex don't rot your teeth. That was the other.
Right. That was not as much fun, I don't think. I like candy's dandy, liquor's quicker. Just for this instance, we can talk about the other one later.
You did not know candy, apparently.
Either way, you're going to end up without any teeth.
She was the daughter of a dentist. Anyway.
Oh, nice.
So that was the trick or drink thing in my background. What's your candy versus?
Well, I was just going to say we learned in bartender school, which is why I'm so disappointed in your bartenders who did not go to school. But we learned how to make things like candy corn, which is layering the different alcohols with different flavors in there to make it taste like a candy corn. Yeah. You obviously had your go-tos like the grasshopper, which we talked about before.
Yep.
What was another one?
Brandy Alexander.
Well, I was going to go with the brandy stinger.
Or a stinger, sure.
Yeah. Which was also another one because those usually came out green.
Yeah.
And then of course you go into Pinterest now and you've got all of these different cocktails that you can make that are Halloween themed. And I have a board on my Pinterest. Yes, everyone, I do have a Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I think I've said that before. I love Pinterest. I absolutely do. But I have a board on and it says, "Oh, Halloween, how you tempt me so." That's my board. And I pin drinks and stuff like that and ideas on how to decorate the front yard for Halloween, which to me is this is going to be a very interesting Halloween. So I know we don't have anyone that listens to this podcast that attends my wife's dance studio, but you've all heard about the dance studio. We are actually doing, because of all of the COVID stuff that's happening and the lack of interest in trick-or-treating, we are actually going to hold a trunk or treat this year.
That's
Friday
a great
before
idea.
Halloween. Yeah, just in case there's still trick-or-treaters, we're going to do our trunk or treat. We have a company aspect to the studio, which the girls have to audition for company, and then they perform at different places throughout the community, or at least that's the overall plan. Again, once COVID subsides a little bit more.
Nice.
But this will be their first performance. So they will be performing at the trunk or treat, which we're holding in the back lot of our studio.
Okay, so when, for our Nashville listeners or people willing to take a bus to Nashville,
right,
or fly,
or just drive your own car.
When is this happening?
This is Friday
studio?
the 30th.
Okay.
Friday the 30th from 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
There will be 2 performances, and supposedly, I haven't seen it yet, but supposedly there's going to be 2 sessions. So you kind of sign up, you register for a session, and you come in, just because we're going to try to keep everyone socially distanced. Where the candy and the toys for those who can't have candy will be individually wrapped and spread out so people can pick up their own and try to make it low contact as possible. So we're making it very COVID friendly. We're going to have stations for people to disinfect, stuff like that. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, and I think being able to kind of isolate like that too is especially again with all the COVID crap. Hold on, it's our drinking game. COVID. Because of the COVID. Every time you say it, you got to take a drink. I'm sorry, and you're going to start drinking at work now.
Hold on. If you're listening at work, you're going to start drinking at work. When has anyone stopped drinking at work?
Going to leave that alone.
Yeah. Did you see the news lately? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we need to. But anyway, I think that's a great idea because you can kind of keep it all in one spot, and fun to have the kids in the safe area to get together and do that. The other thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned was you said supposedly. You are killing me. You said when you do the editing, unless he changes it, ladies and gentlemen, he said supposedly. I thought I was listening to Joey on Friends.
Yeah, maybe.
Who used to say supposedly.
Yeah. No, it's supposedly. Maybe you
I just wanted to make sure our listeners
I'm
knew.
mumbling a lot today.
No, I think it's the CBD.
Whatever. Oh, no. Well, it could be, but that
you seem relaxed.
Usually it makes me sound a lot more intelligent.
Honestly, that ship
it's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe. I understand that.
You're at the top of the scale of intelligence. It's like it's like the strong man at the carnival who hits the thing and the bell gets hit.
The ding ding,
right?
The ding ding with the thing.
It can't go any higher. You're at the very top.
That's true. That's true.
So, just saying, I'm here to help.
See, John, you're good at making me feel good about myself.
I'm not as good as CBD is about it, but I'm getting better. Can you imagine if people start taking John for CBD? I mean, this stuff is not.
Usually people take CBD in the John.
That's spelled John. Let's be clear.
Oh, the Porta John.
Yeah.
The Potty John.
Potty John, or the Potty Mouth John, or the outdoor ones.
Or John's Potty Mouth.
Those Porta Nicks. Those Porta are.
The Porta Nick. Just in the nick of time.
That's where we landed our boat.
Right.
The Port of Nick.
Yeah. The Port of Nick.
It's very nice.
And
wow.
Wow.
And that quickly, we're done with Potty Corner. So
where do we come up with this shit?
I'm sure what our listeners are thinking right now.
Right this minute.
I think they are. Where do they come up with this shit?
They're hoping at some point it's going to say Podius Interruptus and it just ends the program.
No one's hoping that. Wow. Probably
maybe most of them. I don't know.
Maybe so. So that was thanks to Mike for the potty corner, and you, if you have any potty corner ideas. And it could just be something quick and easy like that, or it can be something more in depth that will allow us to use our massive brains to get to the bottom of something.
Let's go back, since we're talking about Halloween. Let's talk about Ghostbusters.
Let's do.
Yeah, because there is a scene in Ghostbusters where someone says to Egon something about his big brain. Girls interested in his big brain, and he said, "I think they're more interested in my epididymis." I screwed it up.
Come on,
my epididymis, because he says it so perfectly, and that's why I had to screw it up.
I think they're more interested
interested in my epididymis. That was in Ghostbusters 2, by the way.
I know it was, because I would recognize it if it were in Ghostbusters 1.
But you did recognize it.
I watched 2. I just did not enjoy it as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as 1, but
but neither is Anchorman 2.
Yeah. Well,
it's not as good as
watch Anchorman 1.
Oh,
no, I did. I'm sorry. I am not. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I am not a Will Ferrell fan.
I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan either. I did not care for Ricky Bobby. We've talked about that. I did. Yeah, I did not. It was not good. But he was hilarious in Anchorman. He was hilarious in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Mom, meatloaf.
Yes, Wedding Crashers. He was good.
Awesome.
You know, anytime he hasn't been the star in the movie, he's just kind of been a supporting actor. He's been funny.
Yep.
I like not Wedding Crashers. What's the other one with the guy returns to college. They all return to college and they're pledging a fraternity.
Oh, Old School.
Old School is hilarious.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that, but he wasn't the star of it.
No, he had a lead role though.
He did, but it wasn't the lead role. He wasn't first on the call list.
We're going streaking.
Yeah.
I still love that. That's amazing.
There's no doubt. Again, we've said this on the podcast before. There's no doubt he's an incredible actor. He's an incredible performer.
He's just a talented guy.
He is. The George W. Bush that he does is hilarious. I also think he is one of the producers of what's that TV show on HBO or Showtime? It's not Billions, but it's very similar to that. It's Succession. Succession. Have you watched that? Succession?
What's the show on HBO or Showtime? Hold on. That one.
Yeah,
I have not seen Succession.
Oh, you need to see Succession. You will absolutely love that show. But I think he is one of the executive producers of it, if I'm not mistaken. But it's very good.
I also have
listeners, if you haven't seen Succession, I would highly recommend looking up Succession. It is a really interesting take on family and the family business, just at a much greater level.
I have heard of it. I have not seen it, but I also need to see Yellowstone, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I haven't
completely
seen that
different, but similar in many ways, because it's another family-run business or family drama, just taken to that next level where you're like, you want it, but you're so glad you're not in that whole mix.
Yes, right.
Part of you wishes that you were one of those people, and part of you goes, thank God I'm not one of those people. Yeah. So
yeah.
Have you seen Billions? Have you watched Billions?
I have not.
That's another. It's that one. I would say this last season wasn't as good as past seasons, but all the seasons before that, it's been a pretty good show. I would recommend that one as well.
Who's in that?
I don't remember his name. Damien something. He was also in Homeland at the very beginning of the Homeland series. He was the guy who returned from.
Okay.
Yeah. But he very, very good. And
that's fine.
Yeah. So those are my recommendations. Not very good Halloween recommendations, however.
Awesome.
If you're looking for Halloween recommendations, it just depends on your level of how Halloweeny that you want to go with, because Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix is really good. Not the one that we think of from the 90s. We're talking about the brand new one.
Right.
It's
Okay.
that one. You might watch it and absolutely hate it, or you might watch it and go, I really kind of like this. Don't tell anyone. And those are the only two options.
Got it.
What was another one we watched recently? Haunting of Bly Manor. That's a really good show. My wife and I, we're not scary. We don't watch scary shows, but Haunting of Bly Manor is really, really good. It's kind of the progression after Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Which I haven't watched, but
famous movie.
Yep. Well, they made it either a remake of the movie into a television show, or it was a television show. But very, very good on Netflix as well. Have you been watching any Halloween stuff, scary stuff lately, besides our old go-tos like Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters, yeah, scares me to death.
Hey, I used to have nightmares about those dogs when I first saw it at like 6 years old.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Yes, I was 8 years old.
If I ever meet someone, all my friends named Dana, I always have to say that. I'm sure they love it.
I'm sure they do. Absolutely. I was 8 years old and saw that in the theater, because I don't think my parents or my mom at that time thought it was going to be. I think back. I mean, my daughter saw it at 8 years old. I don't think it gave her nightmares, but those dogs gave me nightmares for a long time.
All right, I'm not making fun.
Yeah, you are. It's okay. I'm making fun of myself.
Just a little.
Yeah.
I guess they were a little scary. I get that. I just I don't. The movie.
Well, you think about it now, living in the 2020s, that sort of thing just looks so campy and so unrealistic. But back in the mid 1980s, that was at special effects at its best.
It actually was pretty darn good. You're right.
Freaking scary.
Yeah.
And we're talking about also, you're watching it on 35 millimeter film playback on a crappy screen in a small town. It looks a lot real than when you're looking at it on a 4K television.
Well, look, I saw I saw The Exorcist when I was probably 16, 17, scared shitless.
Oh, yeah. I still watch that and get scared shitless.
Well, the quality, it really has nothing to do with HD or not HD.
No, well, in that one, I don't think it has. That one is just psychological. It doesn't matter what era or what quality of the effects in that one at all. I mean, that's sound. It's kind of like Jaws. Jaws was meant to be a more interactive, not interactive is a poor word, but more practical, heavy movie.
Yeah.
But the shark never worked. So all they did was add that music and added to that suspense where you really couldn't see anything. You just knew it was there. And that made the movie.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think, Ghostbusters, I go back and all I think is maybe I got a milk bone. Rick Moranis.
Have you seen Rick Moranis is retired. He hasn't made a movie in a very long time or done anything in a very long time.
He just got attacked. Did you hear about that?
No. Like physically attacked
He got
attacked?
Physically attacked in, where was it? Hold on, I could find out.
Doesn't he live in Toronto?
He is from Toronto, but hold on.
Well, while he's looking it up, so he made another appearance. Okay, tell me about it.
Go ahead. New York Police Department. Oh, it's in New York. So I'm just shocked. Rick Moranis, victim of unprovoked attack, caught on camera in Manhattan. It just shows some dude who hit him over the head. Rick went to the hospital with pain in his head, back, and hip. He later walked to the precinct to report the crime.
Wow, that's crazy. He was just in a
October
recent.
1st.
Okay, he was just in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
and it was kind of a big deal because Rick Moranis hasn't been working much.
right. Apparently
So
hasn't
that
had
was-
to. Good for him.
right? But I'm hoping that with the new Ghostbusters, he shows up in it, even if it's just for a second.
A cameo or something. Yeah.
Because Louis Tully, he's my hero.
Just classic. Oh my gosh.
I love it when he moved from being an accountant to a lawyer.
Oh yeah. I wish I could remember his diatribe when he did the he's talking to the lamp or to Egon, I think he was talking to when they caught him. Oh gosh, I'm sure we can find it. Anyway, please continue talking among yourselves.
Would you like some coffee? Do I?
No, I'm
yes,
having
let's.
some. Yeah. Yes, let's. That's good.
Oh, well, one of my other favorite movies that I haven't watched in a long time. It's not a Halloween movie. It's more of a winter movie. Strange Brew. Have you ever watched Strange Brew?
Well, yeah, but it's such a long time ago.
But it's still a great movie. If you have not seen Strange Brew with Rick Moranis and what is his name? Bob.
It is funny.
Oh, no, Rob Thomas.
Gosh.
No, Rob. What is his name?
Rob Thomas.
He's got the same name as the owner of Wendy's, or the creator of Wendy's, the founder of Wendy's. Dave Thomas. So it's Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, not related to the guy from Wendy's, but it's hilarious. Hilarious movie.
That it is pretty good. I would agree. I'm just here we go. Many Shivs and Zulus knew what it was to be roasted in the depths of the floor that day, I can tell you. That was Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Love that. But I'm looking at the top quotes from Ghostbusters. Number one. Any guesses?
Oh, I would hate
Egon
to.
said it. I'll give you the hint. Egon said it.
I can't think of it.
What about the Twinkie?
I wouldn't have guessed that. I would not have guessed that. I can see that. I would not have guessed that. I bet you one of them is.
And I think of the piano.
The piano.
In what's her name's in Sigourney Weaver's apartment.
Oh, they hate that.
The
ghosts, they hate that. Yeah, they hate this.
Yes,
that's true. The bedroom. Nothing ever happens in there. Oh, that's a pity.
What?
Or no, such a shame.
What
a shame.
That's it. A crime.
Yes. See, you do have it memorized.
And they're in the library. Well, I told you, I've seen it 1,000 times. They're in the library. It's Aykroyd and Murray and Harold Ramis. Listen, do you smell something? One of my favorites. Yep. It's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's a great movie. We could do a whole podcast on Ghostbusters, and we might we do have 2 more weeks or 2 more podcasts before Halloween, or no, only one. We have this one and then the next one. So just one.
That's
so
right.
maybe next week will be the Ghostbusters episode. Dun, dun, dun. But until
I don't
then,
want to use all the quotes.
Right. Until then, listeners. Actually, there is a new podcast that I'm not sure if I want to recommend this podcast or not. I've only listened to the first episode because that was the only episode that was out when I was listening. But I like the people that are making it. So I have high hopes for it. It's called Aaron Mahnke's 13 Days of Halloween. Oh. And it's very similar to an old radio program and how they would create those old or radio stories, similar to the Orson Welles type of thing.
Yes, of course.
And this one, it has to do with kind of a haunted manor. So it's like the haunted house or a haunted manor, Disney's haunted manor meets Hollywood meets, all of this other stuff. So
interesting. So I guess my only question would be, how's it going to play in February? Is it going to be
exactly? It probably won't, but it's simply for Halloween. Obviously, they're not going to take it down, but this it has. I don't remember if it's Key or Peele from Key and Peele.
Love them both. Oh my god!
But it's one of them. It's not the one that has been making the movies, not the scary movies. It's the other one, but he plays the butler and does all some of the voices and stuff, and he's very, very, very funny, very good. So anyways, if you're into that sort of thing, I would recommend at least giving it a shot, like I am, and just see where it goes. Because Aaron Mahnke does some really good productions. He's a very good storyteller. Cool. I like the fact that he keeps his politics out of his stories.
Yeah.
So even though he's those of you who look at people because of their politics, just look past it for him.
Wow. Well, yeah. Some of these are just, I'm just looking at the Key and Peele post. It's on their website. Oh, good gosh. It is just looking through them. It's hilarious. They kill me.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
They are phenomenally talented. Well, anyway,
you be careful how you say that, AA Ron.
Right, exactly.
D nice. Nice. I just love that.
Oh, on that note,
yes, that's the
if
note.
If you have any, as John said earlier, if you have any ideas for upcoming Potty Corners, please let us know by visiting us at our website, PoddiMouths.com. Head over to our social media and leave comments there. Leave comments on the website. You can also email us at poddymouths@gmail.com. Or from the website, you can also buy us a cup of coffee. That would be very nice. John and I have not had the opportunity to have coffee with each other. But if you buy us a cup of coffee, instead of drinking during our next episode, we will drink coffee during the next episode.
Maybe in addition to drinking.
Yeah, maybe we'll put the bourbon in the coffee, something like that.
Now we're talking.
Anyway, John, it's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun.
It has too.
You're right.
I know.
Have a great week.
See ya.